Hello, everybody. Welcome. Let me get everything set up. Gotta move my webcam over here. There. And we gotta get this screen zoomed in and then shot over here so we see the double of ourselves for a second. It's like Groundhog Day. We just repeat it over and over again, right? So how's everybody doing? Welcome. My name is John Skippy Limcool. Welcome to a new live stream. We're gonna have fun today because I've been working my ass off, so I want to have fun. It's here. Oops. Del Norte, EDM. K5, and as I mentioned, there's 2 folders of just the glitch stuff because the glitch is so cool, and the guys that I had work with the library did such cool things that it's got its own 2 categories. So I'm really excited. Let me do my usual stuff here. I got to let's see. I go here. I don't see why I don't see. I just, hold on a second here. That's really weird. Normally I see that here, but it's not. But I'm live on YouTube, so that's okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Let me say welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. To the insanity. Yeah, this is a cool library. I went for a lot of new stuff. I had a new programmer who's actually the guy that did the graphics for the interface. He's like 22 years old, and he's just so insanely talented. I tell him I hate him all the time, but that's our inside joke because I think he's wonderful. But he did some really cool things. Airwave was in this. Kid Anthem was in this. So we have... and this is done using glitch. Without glitch... it's a single note. But by using glitch and setting transpose at 7 semitones with 2 repeats of itself. And if I want, I could make it 3 and then it'd be a 7th, and then a 7th up from that. So there's all sorts of stuff. We'll get into playing with that because that's new. I really wanted new. So things like, let's see. Here's some more glitch. Just to turn off glitch. Turn on glitch. I mean, there's some crazy. Here's really, you're outside the... So we'll get into all that stuff. I have... I want to do a couple fun things, kind of light to start with. We'll get in. I'm so excited with this library. It's not even funny. I get kind of out of breath from it. But first I want to show you some fun stuff because it's been a weird week. On top of trying to get all of this stuff done, I had to move out of my old house. So we're going to start with something really funny and embarrassing because I like, I'm okay with that. So I moved out of my old house. And this is me. Let's see. I gotta make this go away and resize. Oh no, go away. How do I get this to resize? Go down here. Let's say 50%. Yes, this is me, my friends. I got stung by a bee on my lip, a yellow jacket. And it made my lip right here swell up. I was cleaning we were doing the yard work, I had Taylor, my assistant, working with me. We were cutting these really sharp brambles, thorns and bushes and stuff. And yeah, Rocky Mountain Sounds is Jason Schopfer. And I told him I had gotten stung, and I posted a picture, and he's like, hey, you have to say rotten rubber baby buggy bumper, which is hard to say in the first place. But when you have a bee sting on your lip, it's really hard. So I did this for Jason. This is me. Check it out. Okay, this is for Jason. I want a rubber baby buggy bumper. I feel like Harry Potter somehow. Don't know why. So it was crazy. It swelled up. It was like solid flesh. It was like, I haven't experienced that, but like before. It was a yellow jacket. We found there's a yellow jacket nest in the ground. And stay away, man. Yellow jackets are evil. They are truly insane. Then like the swelling went down, thank God. And a couple nights ago, Big E, Eric, my friend that works at Nike, he's one of the senior vice presidents. He like travels all over the place. He woke up in North Carolina, flew back to Portland to go to the Goldfrapp show. And so we went to the Goldfrapp show, and it did not disappoint. It was really good. So here's just a little of that. 2 girl keyboard players. Tons of virus sounds. It was really great. They were like cool, slightly different than the original, but you still had all the things you loved in the original. It's the way to do songs. It was great. Took a couple really cool pictures. This was cool. Let's do this full size, original size. So it was a really fun show. So, and then he had to wake up at like 4:30 and fly back for more meetings with people. He works with all the NBA stars and all just the football teams, all the NCAA teams, all that stuff for Nike. It's really cool that he took time to come to this concert. I bought the tickets a long time ago because we both loved Goldfrapp. So that was fun. Also, this is a new series. I wanted to share a little silliness because life is short. This is my dog this morning, Athena. She likes yogurt. And so this is what Athena's doing. Put it on the nose. You aim for the nose.
Isn't that yummy? Okay, you can.
Look at the cross-eyed. I love the cross-eyed look.
Now I gotta go wash my spoon.
So that's what Athena's doing. So it's been crazy around here. I'm 100% moved into this house. This house is 100% mine now. So yay. It's pretty cool. So that's been going on around here, as well as releasing Del Norte EDM for Contact. And I've done a couple demo songs. So here's one demo. This is 4 instances of Contact. This is using MIDI file number 4. Just MIDI file number 4. And the bass and the drums. Okay. And then I made some trap basses. And so I did a demo using one of the trap patches because I thought it was pretty cool. So here's a trap kind of demo. These Trap Nation down here. That's using Break Tweaker Yeah, brake tweaker for the drums. But the bass is... And you can do some fun things if you bring the polyphony down to like 4. You can get to where it cuts things out. So that's too low. And it's gotta be 7. That's so funny. There's not really a mono mode in Kontakt. It's really not designed to be a synthesizer. So I'm kind of tweaking it to do but it doesn't have mono, it doesn't have legato, things like that. But it's still made really cool. Cool trappy bass type. So there's that kind of stuff in the library. We went a lot of cool places. So I'll give you a tour of that in a minute. Firstly, I want to talk about something that's come out that's cool, that's free. I did a video really quick on this. And just so we're clear, I'm going to do more of these promotion videos for companies just to let people know that something is out, that it's cool, that it's free. It doesn't mean like it's a whole endorsement like this is the best that there is when I do these types of endorsements. It's just you guys should know that Eventide is giving away a $100 EQ for free right now. And I think that's pretty cool. And so they have this thing called Equivocate. And let me show it to you real quick. If you go to eventide.com, it's not showing up. Oh, that's right. It's not under the Eventide folder. It's the Newfangled Audio. They have a company they're distributing, I guess. Somebody else made this for them. They've got you almost don't even see Eventide's name on it, do you? Interesting. What it is, it's a 26-band graphic EQ, and it can do some really cool things. You can do things like, well, let's play audio for a minute. So let's play this. We'll just play with it for a minute. So graphically shows you what's going on with your mix. So you can do controls like this. Now let me show you something else that's really cool. If we set this to reset, let's have it match. If I can go hold down match. Maybe I'm not doing this right. It's supposed to be shape. I don't know what I'm doing. I haven't done this part of it. But they have Newfangled twin turbo. They have different looks. Why would Newfangled want that look? I like this better. But there's a ton of presets over here that you can go through. The Richard Devine has some really cool. Let's do this and go through some of the presets. Just it's a nice EQ. So it's free until the end of the month. So if you go to eventide.com, their page is right here. It's a $100 EQ. Watch the videos. They have a couple of videos. This match EQ feature is super cool. I want to learn how to do this. I haven't had the time to learn how to do this. I thought I could just push a button and it would do it, but obviously that's not the case. But one thing it can do that's really nice is it can study the EQ of your mix, and then you add a synth pad, and then instead of match EQ at 100%, put to negative 100%, it will make that synth pad not have the frequencies that exist in your mix. So it fills all the holes. And it's really interesting. You probably wouldn't want to do that at 100%. But to have it where you did it like a minus 60, 50%, it allows it so that you're not doubling up on frequencies that you're already hitting in your track, which is really smart. It's a really cool feature. So the Match EQ has that type of an ability. So I just want to point out, it's got a ton of features. As well as crisp mastering. And you can draw. If I say draw. Oh, turn off match. So it's cool to play with. And it shows you your mix, so you've got a graphic EQ to see what's going on. Even if you set reset and just watch this, it's cool for that. So it's got a cool bunch of stuff. Anyway, be aware that's free until the end of the month. So if you're into $100 plugins for free, free till the end of October. That's right. Yeah, I like I said, Ozone and other applications, there's a lot of great applications, and this isn't really supposed to just be like, don't get rid of Ozone because of this, but it's free. Waves F6 is a nice EQ that does a similar thing, someone is saying. Oh, you need to sidechain in to match. Oh, okay, right. I wasn't doing the sidechain configuration, so that makes perfectly good sense. So that is what has been happening here. Let's get to the fun stuff. Oh, we have one. There's a new. Let's do this now. I've done lessons with people like this in the past. A couple of the guys that actually have a huge trailer music company in Los Angeles now. I used to meet with them in Los Angeles when I lived down there, and they would send me maybe like 6 to 12 MP3s per lesson ahead of time. I want to know how they did that. I want to know how BT did this. I want to know how, and so they would get together, and then we would recreate the things that were in that track at that particular moment. They would send me like, it'd be like a 10-second audio clip for all these things they wanted to understand. And so we pulled apart a whole lot of things to see, you know, how they do that, right? How do they do that? So this is a new thing I'm going to do each week. If you have something that you've heard in music that you thought was really cool, and you wish you could find out, you know, what they do to do this, I'm putting a limiter on my voice just to make sure that I'm not there like that. Gives me a little bit more expansion. Send me an email. Go to my website. Maybe send me like a Dropbox link. I guess maybe you can't. Well, it's just support@pluginguru.com. Just send an email to support@pluginguru.com and include an MP3 file in your email. I need to make sure I have all my emails set up, so don't do that for half a day. Let me make sure I've got everything working. But I'm going to set that up so that you guys can send things. But I had someone send me one of those this week, and it's a simple one. We're going to start with a basic, but it's one that I was thinking about this. A lot of the people watching this stream are younger guys that, you know, they haven't listened to tons of soul music, and the older, I just bought a CD player for my stereo system downstairs. So that's where I'm at. I still play CDs. They sound tighter and better than the music from my phone by far. So this is something you might not be aware of. So here it is. Here's the how they do that, and then we'll look at how they did that. How they do that with the bass. I mean, today a lot of people go, oh, that's a pitchy G. And so you'd go in and you'd, I mean, you can do that. If we were to go to a bass sound, I made some really great deep basses so we could sort of rubber top it. You bring up your intensity. You know, you'd think you could do it that way. That's not what they did. This is back in the 90s with Minimogs. How do you do that without it being this way? Let's see what's coming up in chat. Anybody? Come on, tell me your ideas. Hey, Wismo's here. Other people are here. What do you do to do that effect? Let's see what we get in feedback. I'm going to set up, I need Omnisphere because Omnisphere can do the things I need to do for this type of sound. So let's go over here. Here's a nice Del Norte bass. So we want to do that. What do? You have to make sure that you have legato and glide. And then you slide your hands. You play up and you play down the keyboard. And you can do fast, you can do slow. That's how you do that sound. Here, let's see. Let's get my MIDI keyboard up so you can see the amazing technique required to pull this off. All right, ready? Isn't that amazing? Check that out. But that's the way you do it old school. It's not pitchy G's and so forth. It's actually playing with legato, and you would think you'd set the glide to be like, no, don't use glide like that. You got to be able to slide because you can go fast and slow. You got to be able to speed it up, slow it down. That's the sensual side of the glide in soul music, is and then you're off, okay? So that's how you do that. Mono legato, sliding your damn fingers on the keys. If you can't do that, then you can't call yourself a synth bass player. At least in the old school days. It's a little different now because everything's all into the happy bump, bump, bump kind of different thing. But that's how you do that. All right? Bruce, it's okay that you're late. Remember, this is saved so you can come back and watch it in the future. It's not one of those things where it is a live stream and it's fun to be here for the event, but you can come back and catch it once it's saved and posted to YouTube. So let me zoom in. We'll get to where we have the interface for this so you can see a little bit better. Let's go through this. I'm going to show you some of the cool things because this library now has 420, actually it's 430 patches. Yep. There's 721 samples. So one thing that we're going to do, I forgot to put this on my little poster thing, is to compare this with the Omnisphere version of Del Norte. Because some of you have the Omnisphere version and it's like, do you need both? I don't know if you need both or not. Part of me says yes, just because this glitch, when we get to these glitch effects and the other effects that we've made and stuff, there's a whole lot of really cool stuff. We kind of went out of the box farther than we did with the Omnisphere version of this library. So, I mean, there's all sorts of, let's get to here. And one cool trick with this glitch, glitch. Let's see, let's open up a floating transport. So I can bring this over here so you can see this. Tempo is important for glitch because glitch is a tempo-based. See right here in the glitch rate? It's telling you the rate. And the stereo makes it be just mono. The number of repeats, let's make it fewer repeats. So it's 3 repeats. Now feedback, if you have velocity sensitivity happening, feedback all the way down means that there's no feedback, so it fades out sooner. Whereas if you bring this up even just a little bit, it plays all 3. Then if you go stereo, it plays center, left, right. Okay? And if you have more than 3 repeats, let's say 5 repeats, then it just ping pongs back and forth. And the cool thing is, if you set duration to held, then It doesn't play all the time. Anything besides held on duration, it will hold that. Just play it once. Now it repeats 5 times. And then the duration is how long does it hold that note. So if I had this to be more, if I have my duration really short, so then it respects the envelope. So it's just insane. And then the tuning is where it gets really crazy. You set it to 7ths. This does not exist that I know of on anything else. I've had it since Mega Macho Drums in 2003. So it's been around for a while. But Aaron, God bless Aaron, my script designer, said, I have some new things that we can do with Glitch that are really cool. And so we put these things in that just make it off the shelf, the coolest thing I've ever played with. You can get such really cool, unique things from this. So that's what we're using for all these without glitch. All these arcade things that Airwave did. But the cool thing is because it's time-based. Oh, if we go over here to glitch. Right? It can get to where if I show you, was it the glitch signals? It's got a pitch, but it's based on the tempo of your song. So the trick would be that you would set this to the tempo to get the pitch that you want, record it and bounce it as audio, and then put it back into your song at another tempo if you want. But it's really fun to play with. You can do some really crazy things with this. So we'll get to the glitch. I'll start at the top of the list now. But glitch is this feature that's just sitting right here as one of the 9 effects. There's distortion, lo-fi, glitch, compressor, transient designer, the 3-band parametric EQ, delay, and 2 convolution reverbs. All available from the single screen without having to go anywhere. Here's oscillator 1, which is the attack percussive stuff, the wind, the loop, my breathy stuff that we've shown and talked about. And then at the end of the list, I put the waveforms both in attack and in body so that you could do dual waveform synthesizer sounds, or I could use all these cool virus sounds and then layer some sort of a cool synth waveform with it. It just opened it up really wide to put those synth waveforms from Maxwell into the list. So that's where we're at, and we've created, this is now just so you know, the names AW is Airwave, JL is me, MW is Matt Chowski, so and then you'll see KA, which is Kid Anthem. So those are the handful of people that I got involved with this library, and we still have 425 patches. So and there's a display right here you'll see for the mod wheel. So I can just grab that one I want. So we got stuff like that. We have bread and butter. Here's your effects, and if you want, you can turn them down. There's dark snaps and dark gulps and all sorts of. There's some great drones. John, show us the top 5 patches in the top 5 patches. Show the top 5 patches in this K5 version. Well, I don't know about, I mean, I just finished this. And so I don't know if there's a top 5 I could show. Well, here's a couple that I really love. That's fairly epic. Unicorns at Play was really fun. There's a ton of different things. You know, I haven't had enough time to live with this personally to get inside of it to there's such great good Lord. You're putting me on the spot, Scott. The pads are great. It has all the core waveforms. All of these are more samples. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, the stuff we don't get in the Omnisphere 2 version. Well, all these glitch things that I'm showing, there is no equivalent to any of this stuff. There's just really cool quality. Now, if we compare this to the Omnisphere 2 version, just so you get, there's a different vibe. I would say the Contact version is more thinner, more unique. Attack is really strong. The characteristic of the attack is really there. The Omnisphere version is this warmer, big blanket kind of a vibe. Huger sounding. I think the effects inside of Omnisphere 2 are superior to what you have. I mean, there's very, very cool stuff in the Omnisphere version. I'll put it to you this way. Purposefully, I did not play this library one time while making the Contact 5 version. I wanted this to be its own spirit, its own self, its own everything. And so what you'll find here is there's not a single patch that is referencing anything inside of Omnisphere. I have a reason for that I will share in the future, but I can't tell you right now. We did not listen to the Omnisphere version and try to make the Omnisphere version in this. I let this become its own unique. It's a thinner, perkier, I think maybe more radio friendly. Omnisphere takes up so much frequency for these types of sounds that but I mean, it has its own just like wow factor to Omnisphere. I mean, The other thing that Omnisphere has is it has these keyscape library patches, which require you to have keyscape but then you can have great pianos and pads. The leads, if you compare this Spirit to the lead sounds here, big difference, whole different. It's more urban trap, I think, kind of, it's more modern in a way. But again, I did not play the Del Norte Omnisphere library one time when doing this whole library, because I really wanted to just focus on what these filters and what these sounds and the effects would create without trying to recreate something that I'd made in something else. It has its own spirit. It's the only way I can say it. I try, you know, it'd be really easy to make this a $99 library. But I make these inexpensive for a reason, so that you guys can afford to buy all of them. Eventually, I want them to not be like this really huge investment. I mean, this is like, you know, 5 days of coffee, right? And you have 430 cool patches of all sorts of just crazy. So I hope that clears it up. Let's see what the chat is saying. Go for both versions. Yes, the K5 version is more brighter and airy, whereas the Omnisphere version is just this like epic, like, oh my God. I mean, there's no doubts Omnisphere is, there's a reason it's everybody's favorite synthesizer and why I have 20 plus libraries for it. And I was watching like the hurricanes that are hitting and the earthquake. I made this just yesterday while watching them rescue people in Mexico. And they were all sitting there listening with, stuff goes through me and into these instruments. And so I don't want to be influenced by past. I just want to be at the moment. So that's why this library has a very different spirit than the other library, because it's made at a different time. I've moved to my new house. I've got my own setup, you know, I mean, things are different. So these sounds are going to have a bit of that spirit to them, I guess, you know? Plus the distortion in this absolutely sucks, but it sucks in a cool way. Without it, so Matt and Airwave both did some really cool stuff where that distortion was used to. And this reverb. There's a certain signature sound to these convolution reverb presets. So there you go. Let me get back to where we were. We were on basses. There's all sorts of basses. So many basses. There's chord basses. Probably 3 times the basses of the Omnisphere library. The traps. We were all doomed. I will say this, pitch EG can take your head off. Here's without it. So it's very cool in and of itself. Bells. Got some bells. And just to compare, here's bells in the Omnisphere version. I think I made bells here, right? BP. I did not make any bells. I didn't make bells. Well, we made we made quite a few bells. There's one place where there's a big difference. There's glitchy, dreamy. This is using the glitch to octave up, add an octave. So things like that, and yeah. And believe it or not, this sound sounds like a Glock. But it's made with the bellish modular waveform from... This is actually from the Waldorf NW1 modular that I've got. And cowbell. But you add that component... Now you sort of hear the cowbell. And what's fun with this is because it's set up to be attack and body, you can go through it's more focused. There's not 4,000 waveforms in a list. There's your attacks and there's your bodies. So it's a little bit quicker to edit your own sounds in a friendly way. It's not this intimidating, you know, when you hit sample and you hit this, you have a rather large list of a whole lot of samples to go through to figure out what you want to use. Here you're limited, and limits sometimes do cool things. So there's a lot of bells. This was really cool. Airwave did this one. And again, if you take off the body, okay. So bells. Now the ARP, there's some ARP patches. There's also pulses, which are using a retrigger. Cool. Your reverb sounds superb. Oh, good. Thank you, Bernie. That's very nice of you. So let's keep going. So this is the ARPs. Now there is an init folder which has two inits. There's the patch start init, which is just, it's initialized. This actually should be saved with the mod wheel down. I don't know why it got saved with it halfway up. But there's another init here, which I want to show real quickly, which is the init, which if you hit the tool wrench, the script editor is opened up to the arpeggiator page so that you can play with, and you could say random. You could say chord. It's no octaves, so just say 0. And let's say 8th notes. And there's retrigger. So I took away the retrigger preset. However, if you really wanted to work with just the retrigger, things like this, these pulse 8s, these are using, if it says pulse, that's the retrigger. So if you hit this, you're now set to the script editor to be set to retrigger. So there are a couple patches which have the retrigger instead of the ARP. And all it does is it retriggers. And it doesn't do it in real time. Just so you know, okay? Now, there's a lot of stuff under the tool. I'm gonna do some support videos. And maybe in a bit, I'll cover some of the things, like if you wanted to edit this. Well, this is one that's important. When we get to the leads and stuff, I'll show you. And that would be like pitch bend. So the ARP retrigger, there's a lot of fun stuff there. Drums. I had no idea these guys were going to go crazy with drums. So there's a ton of fun stuff. That almost just beats in glitch. That's cool. Did she wake up? This is using the velocity to decay really well. Play soft and super short. That's very fun. Really great kicks. There's retro claps. There's oil tankers, cool. There's retro kicks. And actually, check this out. Airwave did some. It's got the upbeat of a hi-hat. And he did it by using the tone verb with a short little room with a ton of pre-delay. Like you could control the frequency of that repeat by low pass. Really clever. There's some really nice libraries for Contact. Yes, there are some really nice libraries for Contact. That's why it is, Contact is the industry standard for sample libraries. What's kind of fun is this is more synthesizer than sample library like you would normally expect to find in Contact. Just fun little thin hi-hats, shakers or something. Effects, I showed you the arcade stuff already. Here's blasters on the Enterprise. Excuse me. Very effective. Whoa. I think I should check that one out. Careful if you call up French Frog Never Gets Old. There's some... Yeah, so nuclear fallout, I did this one. Using glitch. Hey, Kid Anthem's here. So some of these patches are his. Here's Robotica, this is another. Reminds me of old Joel Walsh albums, how he did stuff like this. Bad Dreams. Up and Down Fairy Tales is cute. So it sounds like a sample from some cool sample library, but it's made in real time right in front of you. All right, the glitch stuff, I showed you a lot of this. Let me show you a couple others real quick. The chords are really fun. And these are interesting because it's actually, if you turn off glitch, there's a fifth happening here, and then it gets stretched by 5 semitones with 4 repeats. So cool chord stuff can be made. Or octaves. So you can make all sorts of really complex chordal things. Now you have a cool blip chord thing. Do yourself a little house thing and off you go. Glitch BPM, this is all the stuff that has actual tempo followable. Here's a Kid Anthem patch dancing in the pipes. Nice. Decisions. Make up your mind. So it's a new sound. It's a new... Cool. Love it. Let's keep going. Oh, these are the triplets. We need Skippy beatbox samples. What is a chord patch versus regular? A chord patch means that you play a note, and to me, that you're getting at least 3 notes that define a chord. That's what gives me the desire to designate something. Like if we were to go to the keyboards real quick. If I play a note, and it's just, I don't hear, but if I was to have this be a waveform, hear that chord? So, because it's become a chord, let's take this down an octave. Because of that, you have to play it more sparse. You can't just play keyboard parts with it. So anything that has that kind of a, if it, you play one note and you're getting a big stretch like that with one note, you can't play. If I play that with one of these chords, it sounds really bad. Check this out. I mean, you can't play, you can't. So when you see chord in the name, that usually means that you should play just one note. Don't play a chord. Okay? All All right, more of the BPM glitch. So this is all new. This is for all sorts of genres. I don't know where else you would go to do that. There might be some MIDI effects. Anyway, it's very fun. And what's nice with this is it's very easy to customize this to your own music. So Smokey in here, this is one that was based on listening to a trap tune. Just playing a simple melody. You just get extra notes dancing around and then build a whole track around that. How good or bad is contact on the CPU? You can see right here the CPU and the cores being used. This is playing, right here's the number of voices. If you look at this window right here, you'll see how many voices are currently being used. So you can see it's eating up a fairly decent amount of CPU power, but it's playing the part. So okay. All right, then I showed you the init. There's a number of keyboard sounds. Didn't go keyboard crazy. But we're up to 80 voices of polyphony, so it's eating up a lot of power to do this one. There's 2 convolution effects, delay, and 80 voices of polyphony being used. So just depends on what's playing and what you're playing with it, right? There's some nasty clav. Okay. Soft orchestra. The Kid Anthem did this. It's really nice. Softly as you play. I did a bit of a rework to this one from Kid Anthem, but I like the name, so I kept that. Okay, so that's our keys. The leads, I showed you some of them. I'll show you a couple others. Midnight City. That's an out there experimental kind of a lead. Here's Royal Jedediah. And this is using a breath. very easy to change to all sorts of different things. The Thin Hungry Cat. There's a lot of tricks I will show you guys in future videos. I'm going to do is I have a number of videos planned. One is already done that I actually did at the old house, going through the steps of recording the modular to make these. So I'll be sharing that, how to make single cycle loops. All that will be in one video. Another video getting more into the advanced. There's places you need to know. You can't be afraid of the tool wrench when you get Contact 5. So let's call it more like a normal lead. Now the pitch bend, I programmed this one to be up 2 semitones. If you think of it this way, when you open up the editor, you see you've got these buttons up here, and for the most part we keep those closed. The graphic editor shows you the group. This is the groups. Mapping is where you find all of the different samples, so if you wanted to tune volumes or tuning. The wave editor is if you want to actually go in and edit samples and loop them and do things like that. So we're not doing anything with any of that. Script editor is where you find this interface that we've designed, and then if you were to hit the, where is it down here, the edit button and type in the password, which we don't share, you would be able to go in and see the whole script, the object-oriented language. It's insane. So none of that needs to be open. So have all the top boxes closed. And then this top area where it says tune is tuning. And so if you go to mod, this is where you will find your modulation side settings for the tuning of, it's like sections, right? This is one section. This other section is the effects, and right here's the filter. So if you hit edit, and right here's the modulation, where you see the modulation assignments for the filter. This is where I have modulation set up inverted for MIDI CC. I have key scaling done just a little bit. But right here, if you hit mod on tuning, is pitch bend. So if I want this to be an octave, all I gotta do is raise it up to an octave. And if I was to say, no, I want it to be just 2, then you just bring this down. They do it in decimal points. But you set it to 2. Okay. Now, if you needed to go more than an octave, you could actually say add another modulator of pitch bend. Takes it a second because it has to apply this to all of the sounds in this model, which is fairly complex. Set this to 12, and now you have 2 pitch bends at 12. You can even get into doing crazy stuff if you want. If you control click right here, right click, you can say delete. So it will delete one of those, so we only have 1 pitch bend. If you open up this, you have basically a lookup table. And you can say make it active. And now, if I was to bring this to the opposite, this would be the same as inverting the sound, right? So now the pitch. If I wanted to, I could do things where I could change the curvature of it. I could even go to presets, to the factory. There's all sorts of like random, where it's got different settings. Each value of pitch bend is now randomized. So there's all sorts of things you can do, whether you have the table on or off, to play with. It's a synthesizer. Don't forget, it is a synthesizer. It's capable of doing some cool things. Okay, so that's where you see that for the mod wheel, or for pitch bend. For the filter, you hit edit right down here, and then you hit mod. Mod means the modulation sources, and here's our list of modulation sources. If you see something like envelope or LFO, which is at 0. See this little box? If you click that, it will go down and open up all the modulation sources. Here's all the modulation sources are shown right here under modulation. So if you think about it, you have insert buses, insert effects, send effects. Those three areas, you probably won't go into that much. This is where we'll talk about the insert effects in a minute, but you don't have to deal with that much. It's mainly up here at the top where you have your pitch, your filter, and right here is volume. And here's mod for volume. So I have envelope set up for the volume. There's an LFO set up for volume that's currently with an intensity of 0. There's velocity. You can add other modulators, and here's all your modulation sources you could call up and use. So it's a synthesizer. It does have these abilities. So don't forget that, okay? Let's see. Any questions? Everybody's just scarfing in the information. Good. All right, moving on. So that's how you get to editing. If you need the pitch bend to be 2 semitones and it's currently an octave, you call out some of these sounds, and I think we kept it at an octave for the most part. And you go, no, I need it to be different. Hit the tool wrench. Right here where you see tune, right here there's a mod. Here's your pitch bend. Just bring down the strength to be 2. And okay, straight ahead. Pads, beautiful pads, of course. We like to do pads. And I found that there's a lot of reverb on a lot of these, which might make them sound diffused in your mix. Just bring down the amount of the ambiverbs. We like the ambiverb, so we used it a lot. Here's airy. And I'll take this moment right here to show you the output. There's 2 choices. One is the insert effect chain. And if you listen, there's a little bit of bumping of the dynamics. I'll show you what I mean. If I was to bypass here and here, hear how it's smoother? But it's not as in your face. So when we bring these up, hear how it's kind of, you hear this like expanded. So we have 2 options. One is to go through that effect chain, which also has chorus and a phaser and 4 more slots. So you could go to the EQ, add a special EQ. This is the output of everything. Or we could say another reverb and just an old school reverb. You can do whatever you want on this. And by the way, Native Instruments just released a new version of Contact. This is 5.6.8. They just released 5.7. I decided not to install. I didn't want this library to require that, because 5.6.8 has been out for a while, but 5.7 just came out. It has additional distortions, which is a very welcome addition, as well as some other things that they've done for developers. I haven't worked with it, and this library is going to be a 5.6.8 library, so that means I can't use 5.7. If I save anything with 5.7, then you have to have 5.7. So it's 5.6. But 5.7 is out, and it's got some cool new things. So the distortion that we have here, you can replace it with a better distortion if you want. I haven't worked with it yet, like I said, so. But if I want, I can set this to stereo, and it bypasses that insert effect chain of compressor and limiter at the In a lot of cases, we have it so it's just barely doing anything. So it's kind of subtle, but there are times where you can tell a big difference where you feel the sound is being constrained a little bit because of the limiting. And that's because you've got it set to IFX change. So just change it to stereo. Nice pads. There's so many of them. Okay. There's fat saws and now this is one where it's like super swimmy, right? Just bring this all down. Maybe a little bit less for these. Now it's more clear for your playing. So if you're playing chordal things like that, you can clean it up. If you're playing stuff that's slower and it's okay to have it be swimmy, just be aware it's very easy to clean up with your sliders right here for the effects. Okay? There's so many, I'm not going to go through all of them. X meets alien. Huge. Here's 0G Dreams. This one takes a while to happen. Definitely more the fun experimental side of things. So it's a fun library. It's very different than what you'll find in Contact, so, or inside of Omnisphere. Sorry, they don't cross. It's really interesting. They're using the same samples, but they're two different personalities. So I kind of was thinking about it, and Contact is definitely just a little bit more stark and. And again, it's easier to use. Right? There's so many plucks, because plucks are important. So. Okay. Spacey breezy. Super snap. Tambo meets royalty was fun. Take out the body and you have now maybe let's cover a little bit of this stuff, because automation is one of the cool things that is not set up directly. So if I wanted to automate that volume, go to automation, to host automation, and just drag to here. And let's say I want to go over here and let's get rid of that. And we're on like, Okay. So I have some bad notes in there, but. So all you have to do is go on turn on automation now. It's in, so. And maybe I want to automate filter. So let's go over here, say I want to automate the filter. So it's got it. So now we can go, let's say we want to have it start like, uh-oh, what did I do? Oh. It's in. So it's really easy to choose what you want to automate and just drag and go for it. So you could automate anything in the instrument. If I wanted to play with the reverb as well. Oh, did I? There. So you can automate anything you want just by dragging over here first, just so it connects it to the automation inside your sequencer, and off you go. The chat has a whole discussion going on web browsers, I guess. So, yay! That's nice. Everybody's all comfortable. Synth, there's some cool synth stuff, of course. So we have big breathy power synths. Right? Oh, it's 121 already. Wow. And again, since nothing's hidden, if you need the release to be longer, you know, you have the ability to modify it really quickly. Fortunate. Could almost be pluck, huh? But we got instant. Really cool. And this is using, by the way, sweep up resonant sweep up reverb. And the IR size, you can make it slower. Or make it shorter so it's faster. Because the IR size is really useful. I use this all the time. 100% means it's playing the sample back at its normal rate, just the way it was recorded, whatever it is. Because I have all sorts of things in here that are like, well, here, like the noise. Which ones? Where's Slinky? Here, the clicky room. Make it longer. Or shorter. So this way, being shorter is just part of the sound more. Right? If it's longer, it becomes more an effect. So this parameter for both of the reverbs is very helpful. It's like the reverb size, so you can control the IR size. And it's actually somehow taking that sample, that convolution preset sample, and playing it back half time or up to double time speed. It's very cool that it can do that in real time while calculating everything else that it has going on. It's crazy. You know, all the kind of stuff like that that you like to use. Homework. That's in your face, huh? HP all the way. And the high pass filter. And if you want to change that, you just click here, choose a band pass. Now it's a band pass. All right. Has any contact user here not ordered this already? I'll order it tonight. Good. Thank you guys. I appreciate the support. The things people talk about. You got to be for these chats sometimes because there's all little cute, nice community going on. It's great. Call Falls. You know, it's like, I was just thinking, you know, there's all sorts of vintage synthesizer libraries with like 5,000 synthesizers sampled. And there's all the string, woodwind, orchestra percussion, film, stuff like that. But new synthesizer inside of Contact, there's not a lot to go to. So that's why I was really happy to have this brought out. And this is using this compressor and CPU heavy a little. Hear that? Bounce, bounce, bounce. It's very snappy. That would sound really cool in a mix. Vibrations is cool. Again, it's just a fun, different spirit. And then you have all the core attack patches to work with. So these are set up. I'll show you the idea behind these. Say that we take something like pointer. And let's go to another synthesizer track and let's call up, let's call it Spire. Where's Spire? Go instruments to reveal sound, Spire. And I'm gonna go over here and choose our Future X bank of patches. Casey Baldwin made these, they're crazy. So I'm gonna layer this with the Contact 5 pointer. So this is using the two together. So you could take, well here I have that MIDI file, like, let's do this. I need to go to track. Automation, where's my automation at? Mix, show, delete all track automation. So it's gone. So there's that synth part, right? Played on pointer. Now I'm gonna layer that to be with Spire too. Let's go to here and go to the envelope. way down. So here's without. And then go here. Add these layers to any synth as just this new attack transient. And you have all sorts of cool combinations to work with. So the library is designed both to be standalone, but also to complement, just like the attacks could complement any patch inside of Omnisphere. Same thing here. You have all of these attacks, and you can just call up one of these since they're preset defaults, and just change the attack. And as you're changing the attack, you're going to get... Then add reverb. Add glitch. And you have something cool. Here's without it. So add that. Now add Spire and add Serum. And it gets even crazier. And here's the filter button. So we'll bypass the filter so that the attack is always bright. So that's kind of the idea behind it. It can enhance any other library as well as kick butt all by itself. So that's the idea with the attack patches. And then the waves are all the really cool. Don't forget these, because the patches are kind of the combinations and tricked out. These are just the cool. Oh, whoops. Just the beautiful virus patches by themselves, which are great. Okay. So there you go. Contact 5 Del Norte EDM Chill. We'll be doing lots of live streams and hangouts. Could you automate a like me notice every time? I just wanted to say hello to this and thank you for your, oh, thank you, InstaBill. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna go because I was thinking of doing a demo, but I think we're good. And it's been 90 minutes, and that's about any more than that, my computer starts to freak out. So thank you so much for your support. There's no one else I know of who does this kind of thing too and with their patches. No, I want to be unique. I'm special. It was a good hang. Thank you for joining. If you have questions, contact me through the website. There's a battery save video that I included. In fact, let me play that real quick. I did this because I have enough customers that ask and have problems and challenges. Let's see, where is it at? Oh, I also wanted to show this. Make sure that when you buy the library, you also have access to downloading. It's like, how big is this? It's pretty decent size. 655 megabytes because the 4K video resolution is high. So if you're not using the 4K, you can delete them. But this is all of the really... Oh, wait, this is the PSDs. That's why it's so big. There's JPEG versions of these on the website you can download. And they have the logo. And let's see if can I resize these? Like that. And like that. So there's this photo here. Actually, I'm having Matt use this for the artwork for the Contact 5 version of the library instead of this. Right now it's this red on the box on the website, so that's not going to be final. I just did that quickly, but he's working on the final beautiful version from the Redwoods. So those are available, and when you buy the library, there's a link in your downloads to download those images if you want to. Oh, time for the shout out. Yes. Shout out. Where's everybody at? Say greetings from where you're at. Type it. I'll say greetings from Portland. I can't type today. Portland. Sweden. Hello, Sweden. Yes. Washington, D.C. Penn State, Pennsylvania. Right on. Love the stream from Guildford, UK. Thank you, okay. Delaware, Nottingham, UK, Chicago, Ottawa, Canada, Bothell, Washington. Hi, Bruce, neighbor. You're a neighbor. Greetings from Thailand. Awesome. Tucson, Arizona. Tampa, Florida. Oh, B. Miller. Yes. God bless you guys. Guys, I won't say anything because I always get in trouble. But if you can support the funds and stuff for the rescues, everything that's going on with these floods and the hurricanes, because it's just insane the amount of damage that's been done. So if you can contribute to the Red Cross or other organizations, God bless you. I have done so. I'm going to do more. Philippines, it's the wife's birthday. Oh my, you're being really risky watching this on her birthday. Thank you. Good to see you, MC. Waltham, Massachusetts. Connecticut. Dublin. Anto, welcome. Steve. Hey, Steve from Seattle. Hi, brother. Hi, neighbor. Oh, great. Great, Peter. Good for you. We have not forgotten you. No, we're with Florida all the way. And Texas. And Mexico. I mean, God, there's just so much crazy stuff going on. Hawaii. Great. I'm glad you guys enjoy these classes. More to come. We'll keep doing these. I've got all sorts of plans. All right. Thank you again. Take care. God bless. Be well. See you next Saturday. We'll do it again. Bye.